There has been an ever-growing trend lately of random one-off indie games coming out of nowhere and exploding into the limelight. Schedule 1 is the latest of these wonders, but once again, its commercial success has been hampered by copyright accusations brought up by one of its competitors. I say hampered when in reality the only real consequence of the copyright investigation is the Streisand effect. Prior to Schedule 1 being targeted by Movie Games, the publisher of Drug Dealer Simulator 1 and 2, the Drug Dealer Simulator games were basically complete unknowns, but as soon as the press picked up on the fact that they were investigating Schedule 1, they rolled out the false headlines that the beloved drug dealing game faced litigation for copyright infringement, which once again was not true. But it was too late. The court of public opinion had already decided its verdict. Schedule 1 was innocent, and Movie Games and Drug Dealer Simulator were guilty. Now, this is not a unique scenario, and actually goes as far back as Pong, but it does seem to be a growing trend. The first time I noticed this was the PUBG Fortnite lawsuit in 2018. Now, I was actually pretty happy about that one because of the amount of disdain I had for Fortnite. I thought they were sellouts for abandoning their original game completely and swapping to the PUBG Battle Royale method. But I was aware that it was a slippery slope to have this kind of lawsuit come up. Anyway, even though I was happy, all that lawsuit accomplished was generating negative press for PUBG. They appeared to be the aggressor in that scenario, which in fact they kind of were. But fast forward a few years and Palworld breaks out onto the stage in a blinding success story, and Pokemon looks at that success, seething with jealousy, and sues them into the ground. And now Pokemon has generated negative press for themselves from that scenario. Fast forward once again to today, and once again, as history repeats itself, Schedule 1, while not facing an active lawsuit, has generated headlines that have convinced enough people of the danger to warrant negative press generation for Movie Games and Drug Dealer Simulator. While, once again, this is not a formal lawsuit yet, just the fact that they're being investigated sends a clear message to gamers. Movie Games has seen the wild success of Schedule 1 and is jealous that they could not recreate that in their own slightly similar game. It was the same story with Palworld and Pokemon, it was the same story with Fortnite and PUBG. In each of these instances, one game was better received by the public than the other, and instead of participating in a market of artistic competition, the other decided to fight dirty and bully their competitors into submission. The result? People hated the bully. No one likes a bully. You know what people do like? An underdog. People absolutely love an underdog story. So whenever there's a situation where a proverbial David is staring down its Goliath competitor, the people will almost exclusively root for David. So what's the takeaway for AAA studios then? If you try to bully your competition into submission, you will destroy your own public image. If you end up winning, you might lose out on potentially millions of dollars of revenue because of the public backlash. And that doesn't even account for the legal fees. Not only this, but you will only serve to bolster the very game you are trying to suppress. You will create an underdog around which the people can rally, and you will ultimately suffer in the long term because you failed to understand what makes a game popular in the first place. And instead, you dictated that you are entitled to your audience's money more than any other game studio that makes a product even remotely similar to yours. AAA companies, you are not entitled to our money. So stop crying when we give it to someone who makes a better game than you. Anyway, that's all I got for today. Thanks for tuning in, and as always, take care.